Hi everybody! Welcome to a little raw video of me talking and updating you. So about where I've been and what's going on, and I know I've been making a lot of like reading kind of videos lately, tarot and just intuitive kind of sharing from my heart. And if you don't know, I live in an RV right now, and I am somewhere on the east coast of the United States. If you know me, you know, but if you don't, you don't. But yeah, I wanted to kind of give a little update, personal update about where my head's been at, and make a little kind of blend of a video between personal update and like showing you my RV things. And so the update's going to come later, but I kind of just want to show you what I do in this thing, because some people have been curious about what it's like and how it works, and I also just feel like sharing that. So it's just going to be a raw video of me talking and sharing that. So I got this like 2 months ago, and it's pretty intimidating at first. Like, it's 25 feet long, 8 feet wide, 12 feet tall, and the biggest van I've ever driven was one of those 15-seat vans up a mountain, like switchback road with no guardrails or anything. So I'm a very safe driver. And yeah, but this was by far the biggest thing I've ever driven. And so adjusting to the feeling of it on the road was really intense, given especially as sensitive as I am. It was quite an adjustment of literally diving headfirst into like constant 24/7, like in my sleep, like having trouble sleeping sometimes, anxiety about the noises and this and that. But it's like, you know, I trust that I wasn't sold a ticking time bomb. You know what I mean? Like, I trust that this thing is built well and it's not going to just randomly blow up. But that was my biggest fear, is that it's going to explode. It's going to fall apart because it's this gigantic thing. And every time I go over like a little speed bump or even a line of paint in the road, I can feel it, like it's so lofty and like bouncy and stuff. So yeah, it took me a while to adjust to the sensations and all the noises and the beeps and the mechanics of how it works. But now I'm in a very comfortable flow with it, and I trust it. And I actually feel safer driving this than I do in my normal SUV. Yeah, and the safety features are pretty awesome. So I drove for a couple hours today, and I drove through a huge storm that's covering like the upper northeastern, like section of the United States. Like, it's a huge storm, and it's just super gusty winds and extremely rainy all the time. So this thing, I learned today while driving it that it has a safety feature where it's called crosswinds assist, and when the wind blows so strong that it can like throw this thing off balance, it will like brace itself and like get all like tighten up the gears and slow down or whatever. So that's really helpful, because if I'm driving like above 45 or 50 miles an hour and a 40-mile-an-hour wind gust comes, which is what was happening, it gets really intense. So yeah, but I'm just feeling more and more confident in this thing as I go. So if you didn't see, it has a slide on this side. So basically when I pull up to camp, before I turn the ignition on, I'm just going to run you through a little routine of what I do if you're interested in that. I keep the ignition on, put the parking brake on, and then I press a button and I hold it, and it slowly slides the slide out. And this is where the bed is, this front half, and then over there is like the living room area. There was a couch that was installed there, but I'm not gonna sit on a couch it was a chunky couch, but I am a body mover, dancer, yoga person, and an artist, so I wanted room on the floor to like do yoga and move and dance, and also to be able to set up a folding table. So I have a folding table in there that I haven't actually set up yet to make art, because I just like haven't been in the zone to do that yet. But that's that. And then I turn the ignition off, and then I put the auto leveler things on. Oopsie, sorry about that. Which are those look like stands. It's that the silver, I'm holding this like facing away from me so I can't see, but the silver rods right there, there's two in the front as well, but they auto level the van so that, you know, I'm level. And then once I park, I take my keys and I open up this little thingy over here, and I have like some stuff in there. I have wheel chocks, diesel engine fluid. So I open it up and I take out my electric cord to plug into shore power, which is, I don't even know what it means, but I think it's just a fancy language term for power that's in the ground that you just plug into. So I have a 30 amp plug, and I take the plug and I have a surge protector. So, and this actually has like a Bluetooth function, I think, where you can, connect it to your phone. And if you're away from your vehicle within like Bluetooth range, it'll send you a notification if there's any kind of, oh, actually I have to turn the, what is it called? The breaker on. Okay, there we go. So it's on now. So what I do is I plug the thing in without plugging it into my van. I plug this in first, and then I turn on the little breaker, the 30 amp breaker. And if I get a white light, that means the electricity is running as it should and it's safe. And then I turn the breaker off, and then I plug into shore power over here. And there's a ring around here that I have to screw on to like secure this. So first I plug it in and then I screw the thing on, and that's my shore power. And then once it's plugged in, I turn the breaker on again. So now I have electricity in here powering my battery, my AC, whatever I need. So once I do that, I take out my hose and I connect to water. And I have a water pressure regulator. And generally these should be set at 40 psi, which is a safe pressure for, I think, like most RVs, as far as I know. So first I'll run the water without anything plugged in, because usually, well, not usually, but in my experience doing this for 2 months now or something, a month and a half, I don't know, the hose pipes sometimes have like rust or whatever, so I just want to open it and flush it out a little bit until it runs like clear, because I've like turned on hoses. I turned on a hose at an RV park a couple nights ago, and it ran like brownish for a little bit, and then I just ran until it was clear. And I pour my drinking water through a Brita filter anyway, so at least it's something. But I've drank dirty water in Israel before that was nauseating, even though it was safe. So, you know, I'm not freaked out about water. I'm very much alive, and an advocate for what doesn't kill you makes your immune system stronger. So yeah, I got my pressure regulator, and so first I screw this in, and then I run the hose through here to make sure it's fine, and then I screw the hose in, and the hose goes down, 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 and then I screw it into my van. So it's screwed in there. And then I turn the water on, and so the water is constantly flowing now, and so it doesn't like burst my pipes or whatever. It's set at 40 psi, so I can keep this on for as long as I want, and it's not gonna like flood my tank or burst it or whatever. And I was really concerned about that in the beginning because I didn't understand the mechanics of how it works, and I still don't understand the mechanics of exactly how it works. But I understand that this pressure regulator allows me to plug into the water and keep it flowing without a need to like turn it off when I'm not using it, even though that's a wise thing to do. I don't need to. So now that I'm all set up and butter is fed, and that's kind of like the gist overview of like my RV routine. Yeah, I just, other than that, like I've been working my way up the East Coast, and I've pretty much been finding campsites on the All Stays app for camping and RVing. And I just basically turn on satellite view, and then I zoom in and I see what areas look intriguing from the satellite, and I just pick them. And there's different logos to represent different things. So I just kind of click on whatever looks enticing, and There are buttons that you can press under each listing for like images. So I'll press images and it'll take me to Google and show me all the images for like this location, and I'll find one that looks like pretty enough and I'll like go there. But I mean, video literally does not do anything justice. And also there's something so spectacular about the novelty of driving to a place I've never been before and having my little reservation. So I go on the app, I look at the things, and when I find one I like, which is usually like in the morning that I check out from the last campground that I'm staying in, because I'm really not making any plans in advance. I'm just booking my stay in the morning when I leave the campsite that I'm coming from, so that I have the assurance, because a lot of campsites close at night, and like, you know, there might be special instructions for getting in the gate, and you know, you want to make a reservation in advance just to be safe. And like, once you make the reservation, usually they will send you like instructions or a gate code or whatever to get in later. So that's kind of what happened there. It's so peaceful. And yeah, so I got my site number, and when I came into the campsite, thankfully I had Wi-Fi because I was on the phone with Elsa. If you don't know Elsa, she's my best friend, and everyone who knows me knows her name. But yeah, because we kind of have a thing about being famous on the internet. It's really funny. Oh, hi, turkey vulture. Wow. Okay, love that. Anyway, so I pulled up, we were on the phone, and then we both parted ways at perfect times. And I did a lap around the like whole area, and it's like pretty huge. There's all these like different water inlets, and I'm at one of them, and they like on the map, it's like a massive like state park area. And so yeah, I like drove around, and I didn't see mine because mine is like a random, it's like a handicap site. And I was looking at like all the other sites, but this one sticks out like a sore thumb. It's like a paved site right in front of the bathrooms, which actually is incredibly convenient for me in case I want to use the facilities instead of my own RV. So yeah, I went around once and I couldn't find it, so I went around again and I looked extra close, and I was like, wait, what spot is this? Because there's a weird dirt road pull-off that you have to drive through to like really see this spot, because otherwise it's kind of hiding behind the trees when you're on the main road. So I took the dirt road the second time around, and I saw, oh, that's my site. So I backed in, I set up, whatever. And why I'm saying it's a good thing that I'm next to the facilities is because if I'm using the bathroom and taking showers inside my RV, then I'm basically filling up my gray and black tanks. And if you don't know what a gray and black tank is, gray tank is where your sink water, your shower water, basically your like soapy dishwater goes. And then your black tank is where just the toilet stuff goes. So, you know, when they get full or within a certain time period, you need to empty them to like maintain them and clean them. And there is, I don't know if you could see him, but he's extremely tiny right in front of my fingertip. He's literally that dot in front of my fingertip. That is a heron or a crane or something. But I always love having friends. And these clouds are so incredibly surreal. I don't know if you can tell the way they're just moving. Look, the way that they're moving. Like they're just going by so quickly. And it's just otherworldly and beautiful. And the water, the soil is very irony. It's very silty and reddish. And I actually have my paddle boards with me. I am underneath a cloud of what looks like mosquitoes. I don't know if you could see any of them. But yeah, it looks very silty. I have my paddle board, but you know, I'm afraid a bear is going to jump out at me from like under the water. And also, I am just like paranoid of like going out on the water by myself. Although it's beautiful, and maybe I'll just do that one day. And also like being on a paddleboard makes me feel so vulnerable, whereas like a kayak, you actually have walls around you. But I'm literally just like seeing all these shadows under the water, and it just freaks me out so much. It always has. And yeah, and also being alone is like, it's crazy for that reason. But I love where my little spot is because it's just in the open and it makes me feel a little more safe. And I feel like I'm central and I have a good view of everything. And the trees are starting to turn colors. So anyway, yeah, it's good that the bathroom's right there, because there was a point where like I wasn't in the mood to like spend extra time to like empty my tanks or whatever. So I would just take showers and use the bathroom in the facilities. And yeah, it saves me a lot of space in my gray tanks, because taking a shower, even like military style, like it uses up the tank space pretty quickly. So that's a plus. So yeah, what else is there to say? I mean, I've pretty much been finding random campsites and RV resort park places to drive to the next day, and I would call and make my reservations and go there, and like all of them are like different prices. This one was $33, including like the fees and everything, and I've stayed at one that was like $24 a night. I've stayed at one that was like $75. That was the RV resort. They had like a pool and amenities, and it was more groomed and everything. This is more like wild. But this is kind of segueing into the more personal update. And I'm just loving this like crane friend. But I am absolutely loving how dynamic and stimulated I feel on a soul level moving through these shifting landscapes. There's a part of me that has longed to be nomadic and really to just migrate with the seasons and follow the land. And when I was in Oregon getting to know my Uncle Nobby, who passed away just when I started getting to know him. So my dad, little background story, my dad passed away when I was an infant. So I never knew him in the flesh. I was 7 months old. And his brother Nobby, lived on the opposite coast, on the West Coast. And we never really were very close growing up. And recently when we found out he had cancer, we started going and flying out to him and supporting him. And we really were just there for him so much. And I got to know him the last couple months of his life, which was so beautiful. And I'm so glad and grateful. And I bet you he'd be here right now saying hello and appreciating this heron and telling me some names of some random bird species. Whereas my mom is like total opposite, like absent-minded, like not to, get mean or whatever, but she's just very different from my dad's side of the family. So, meeting him was amazing to connect with myself on that level. Like seeing yourself in a family member is extraordinary. And so I would go out to see him, and I forget where I was going with this, but just so we went to the High Desert Museum, and at the High Desert Museum, there was an exhibit about the certain Native Americans that lived in that region where we were in Oregon, and the exhibit talked about how these tribes would follow certain herds of wild animals and forage for certain crops that would grow. And it's like they moved throughout this vast region of the earth cyclically as the seasons changed. And I was just like, oh my God, I've been craving and yearning for the type of lifestyle that is, in tune with the cycles of nature and seasons. And staying in one place for too long is just not good for me. In the long run, I need to travel, I need to move, I need new environments to stimulate new neural pathways. I mean, this is exactly what this is doing for me, and it makes me present, it brings me to life, it's nurturing as hell. And also look at this amazing rock that's just buried in the sand. It's just incredible. I kind of want to put my feet in the water. Wow. Crazy. It's so crazy out here. Anyway, so yeah, it just really touched my soul, and so I feel very grateful to be traveling and moving around right now. And I've been going through just a kind of phase in my life, I was telling Elsa on the phone, where I feel more raw than I ever have felt probably in years. And what I mean by that, if I need to dumb it down for you, is that not to be rude, but that was meant as a joke, but anyway, I'm getting self-conscious now. But anyway, I've been feeling really raw because I've been going through so much change in such a short period of time, and it's kind of all happened at once, and it's very good for me. Like, I'm excited about it, but it's also a lot. And it's kind of I'm in one of those places where like everything feels painful. Or it's just like my soul is so wide open. I'm like in direct communion with God, but I'm also, my waves of emotion and my depth of feeling is kind of amplified times 100, which is insane because I'm already extremely sensitive. But it's just, I feel like people who've been through this can relate to it, but it's like when you go through a massive change in life and you're forced to either surrender and feel the feelings and go through the grief, go through the emotions, or just, you know, push it down and numb yourself, which I never do. God, no. God knows, and God know that I am not that kind of person. And thankfully I've never been pushed to that extreme where I've like faced the, you know, this feeling of having no choice but to, you know, push something down, push something away. I mean, sometimes things are too intense to process at once, and then you need to come back to them, and, you know, that's kind of what soul retrieval is all about. And I view a lot of these like more healing processes as shamanic and spiritual. And but anyway, so I without naming everything, just caught a fish. Without naming everything, I think a light just turned on. It was interesting. Yeah, without naming everything, I'm just going through that. Sorry, dry lips. And so I'm here, and I haven't been making any videos because I've just been trying my darndest to stay grounded and sane throughout this time. So what have I been doing? I've been, first of all, tending to the mundane daily things, you know, setting up camp and taking care of my cat and cooking well. And on top of that, I started doing my spiritual practices again. I do this breathwork and meditation. The breathwork is called Sudarshan Kriya, and it's taught by the Art of Living organization. And the meditation is called Sahaj Samadhi meditation. And they're through Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, and he was taught by Maharishi, who, if you don't know, started the TM movement. And you know, that's who like the Beatles, like, you know, meditated with or whatever. So famous guru person, and his disciple is the one who created the practices that I learned. And you'll probably hear me talk about that a lot. It's a big part of my life. My aunt works for the organization, and she like introduced me to it. I mean, look at this beautiful, it is not showing up on the camera at all, but it is like hot orange, beautiful color, this silt. It's incredible. It's just beautiful. So anyway, I started doing those practices again, and wow, that is a cloud of mosquitoes. Yeah, so I started doing that, and I started doing like at least an hour of yoga every single day, and just being really like super disciplined about it. And other than eating my vending machine like chips and like gummies routinely when I'm in the middle of my road drive, because I don't want to eat any like semi-cold food or stop to warm up cold food on the road. I just want like quick like craving satisfaction. I've been doing that, but other than that, I've been really healthy and staying really good things, and life is, you know, happening. And so yeah, maybe I'll show you inside. It's so pretty out here, but first let's walk over to the pier and we'll see. So since I'm rambling, I might as well tell you something else about myself. So I used to have a YouTube channel, and I had like, I don't even know how many subscribers I had. I had like probably a couple thousand or something. I was young. I was like 11 and I made these model horse videos, okay? I'm a horse gal. I have been an equestrian since I was, looks like a park car parked outside. I wonder if he's trying, I don't know. Anyway, I've been an equestrian since I was 10, and I'm 26 now. And I collected these Breyer model horses. They're like gorgeous. I mean, just from an artistic perspective, like they're so beautiful and so well made. Look at this water. Gotta go in. And so I used to make those movies, and I would also make little movies with my flip camcorder. Do you remember those? With my little flip camera? And I would, I remember, just as I'm filming and walking on the shore, I remember that okay, he's going to the bathroom. It always freaks me out when I see, like, when I'm alone and I see, like, a random authority vehicle, like, parked close to where I am, and I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Does he need me? But it's fine, right? It's fine. So, yeah, I was, like, making a random little video and, like, talking to the camera, and I sounded like a grandma. I was like, look at how beautiful this is. Wow. And the water and the rocks and everything. It's just so nice. And I made those little videos of just like going in nature and taking you on a little like aesthetically focused tour of the natural beauty of my environment. And I feel like I'm kind of doing the same thing now, and it's just bringing me back, and I just love that about myself. And how cute. What a cute thing, right? So yeah, now I'm standing. Oh, it's a launch. It's a boat launch. Wow, it's a boat launch. Wow, that's so intimidating, this water. Could you imagine going swimming in there? I know some people could, but I couldn't. Well, I could, and it would freak me out probably. I'm already borderline freaked out. So yeah, here we are, and we're on the pier now. I love being on the piers. It's raining ever so slightly. The water is very murky and dark. And I would take my paddle out if I was not intimidated. Maybe if there were more people paddling, I would. But there's something about being alone that just triggers this, like, lack of safety kind of feeling. You know what I mean? I'm sure you can relate. So anyway, what am I gonna do? I don't want to bring a mat or anything outside, so I'll probably do my yoga inside, and then I'll probably make dinner, which will probably be leftovers. I felt like a video game character jumping off a ledge in that instant. Oh, and this is just perfect. I don't know if you can hear the rain, but like just as soon as I decided to start walking back, the rain just kind of picked up a little bit. And that's been happening. I took an underwater class that is designed to increase your capacity to basically free dive and like maintain the CO2 in your body and like calm your mind and not panic, and walk your body through it like you're fine even when you're feeling like you need to gasp for air. It's just the CO2 or whatever. So it's also an underwater workout. It's really awesome. And right literally as soon as we disbanded the like closing circle, it started to rain, and perfect timing. And so that moment just reminded me of that moment. This moment now with the rain reminded me of that moment at the class. So yeah, if you're still here, I really appreciate it. And if you want to support me on the road, check out the description. I offer readings and art and things like that. I'm an artist and an intuitive person passionate about teaching the cultivation of psychic and intuitive abilities and things like that. And yeah, so there goes the car. So yeah, anyway, we're going back inside, and I'm looking forward to another cozy night. And I'm probably not going to drive very far tomorrow because I drove too long today and my body's kind of feeling it, and I have like tightness and stuff, so I'm looking forward to just doing like a nice flow to get the things moving and eat a good meal and rest well and have an easy cozy time. This is just so cozy. And I love how, like, as I'm traveling and my environment is changing, I'm still getting to be in my familiar cozy little home on wheels. I absolutely cherish that. I cherish it. And I have my blue Santa Colt wolves. I absolutely love these creatures, and they are protecting me as I go and keeping me company, and they're just so mystical and amazing and magical. Can't really see them. So yeah, I gotta turn the lights on so we can see. Hi, honey. Hi, mama. Hi, sweetie girl. Okay. Alrighty, so let's give a little tour. I think I'm just gonna put the camera phone down and see how we can work this out. Okay, here we are. Welcome. Got to get it angled right. It might fall over. I'm sorry if it falls over. So you are sitting right now on the tiny little rim right above the cab, and right there is the driver's seat and the passenger seat and the cab, and right behind the camera are some cabinets where I keep my shoes, some electronics like lights, and my Nintendo Switch, of course. And to get even more nostalgic, my Nintendo DS's, because those were the days, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I have that and some art supplies, if I didn't already mention that. And there's up here, but you can't see it, this is like control panel stuff, meters, electric heater switches, water pump switches, lights. I'll keep that on, that looks nice. And then I have my Starlink satellite. So Starlink is pretty cool if you live on the road. You probably know about it. I don't know, maybe you don't. But it's basically, it can work anywhere, and you can get internet anywhere as long as the sky is clear and the weather is not interfering too much. And there are no obstructions, as they say, like trees or, yeah, weather or, you know, buildings or whatever. So it's pretty good. So yeah, and then to my right over here is the door. Just the door. Just the door, she says. And then this is the kitchen. There's a convection oven, microwave, the sink. I'll put this up, but I have a little countertop extension right here. The sink, these overhead cabinets with like dish soap and tank chemical cleaners and strainers and mugs and more storage jars and dish rack, cutting board. This is my water filter. I have some hooks to put up like towels and cooking utensils and stuff. And then in here, in the cabinets underneath, I've got like my blender, my ceramic mixing bowls, which I haven't even opened yet, but I figure if I'm like needing them, you know, I have them. And then I've got utensils and cups and plates and stuff. And then this is my fridge and freezer. And this is a room divider that basically makes the bedroom a bedroom, and it's like I can have my cozy little space in there. And this is the bathroom. I'll give you a closer look. And then after this tour, I'm gonna end this video. But this is it. A lot of people ask about an RV bathroom. Isn't that a funny view? These are my cabinets, and okay, nothing really spilled out too much. Yeah, I just have like my cosmetic stuff and my lotions and potions. I don't really refer to them as lotions and potions. I just don't really use mainstream colloquialisms very much because, you know, it's kind of a personality trait of mine. But I just did, so yeah. Okay, in here, what do I have? Towels. Oh, and more cat litter. Wow, probably got humid and air got in here because it was vacuum sealed before, but it's fine. I gotta refill her litter box anyway. I have toilet paper, and you need a special kind of RV toilet paper, and then the toilet, and you flush it, and it's just like an airplane toilet. And then the shower, it's pretty great. There's a skylight, there's a vent, and you can it's weird navigating this mirrored. You can like twist this open and press the press the button to like turn on the fan. AC vent. Oh my god, and it's insulated with styrofoam, which is absurd to me, but I guess that's like, you know, a thing. Butter also has a habit of drinking out of the shower at home, so she just kind of is obsessed with this a little bit. Do you want some water? She's really trying to figure it out. I actually love the sound of that. All right, we're done. We're not gonna, she's probably gonna drink that puddle, honestly. She loves foraging for water. So, okay, moving on. Back at the main gate, the main hub. So, actually, I'm just gonna do this. I've got all this ceiling stuff. I have a skylight, again, another fan, and whatever. I was actually laying on the ground and I realized, like, wow, the ceiling is very cluttered looking. Like when you're laying down and you're just looking up at all the stuff, looks very cluttered. So yeah, this is like the living room art area. So this was a hole behind the couch. And when the couch was taken out, this was just empty. So I was like, I'm gonna put books in here. So at first I had my table, my Pilates mat, and then my art portfolio all stacked on top of one another in the corner here. But when I would go over bumps and stuff, like this half of the bookshelf would fly all over the place. So for now, I'm just like putting these big weighted flat things down so like the books can stay in place. But I'll probably screw some kind of security system in, bungee cords or whatever, so that I can keep my library stationary while I'm driving. And this is my hamper on a strong command hook. And this is a hanging command hook. I was gonna put my pothos plant, my pothos vine on it that Elsa actually gave to me, and it's still flourishing. But instead I just have my travel pack and my kitty harness. And then in here, these drawers, I have scarves and winter glove hat stuff. And then I have art supplies in bags over here. So yeah, here we are. And then here I've got like, actually I have some pots and pans in here on the top. Dustpan, empty canvas bags, and then my snorkel and my goggles, and my fins for diving. And yeah, this is the bed. So it's pushed out, and I actually have, yeah, she's drinking all that. I actually have under the bed, there are these like storage slots, so I put my bedding in there when the bed is when I'm either traveling and the slide is in. So this band, you see, it pushes in like 3 feet. So all this space is because the slide is out. But when the slide's in, this black line comes about right to the edge of this rug over here. So yeah, and so I just make it real cozy. And I put my pillows and stuff, and I'm normally not a fan of printed sheets, but I was looking for sheets, and I was like, this one actually brings me a lot of comfort for some reason. I love the, like, art on it. I like how it's hand-drawn. I love the texture, and I love the colors, and I actually really like the feeling. So I was like, okay, you know, it's cute. Like, I'll do it. It's by Opal House at Target. If you know, Opal House makes very pretty things. That's where my shams are from, and my little pillows, and a lot of my other bedding actually. So lastly, this is the closet. I have things hanging up in here, and then I got my like camera bag, my yoga mat, and like all the stuff on the bottom. And then down here in the drawers, there's like more clothes, and then there's like more like undergarments and a basket of clothes that I have to do like sewing projects on. So one last thing, because I'm really just, these details are important to me. So this is Butter's litter box, and it's going to go over there, and the mat is going to go back on top of the table over here, and I'm going to put Butter's food. Let me push this back. This is important. Yeah, I'm gonna put her food where it belongs, and I'm gonna pour. So ironically, when I'm driving on the highway, I I don't need to dump the water out because it's a smooth ride and the bottom of the bowls are grippy. But when I am like driving on any other roads, the water spills out of the bowl. I have made many drives already with the water like staying in one place and not spilling, but you know, as soon as I go on an unpaved road, the water will kind of spill out. So yeah, anyway, so that's it. This was 40 minutes of RV life isms and my mental, intellectual, emotional antics. I don't even know if antics is the right word. But yeah, it's time for me to like get my freaking energy out in yoga. And I'm gonna do probably like a 20-minute class because I just want to like make a meal and chill. And just do that. And I'm hungry, but I don't want to eat before I do a little workout. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. And I have like leftover food, but maybe I'll cook some mushrooms because I don't want them to go bad. Or maybe I'll just cook them and add them to my food, or at least cook them to just like have them, and I'll figure it out. But anyway, thanks for being here.